imagine you were a kid and you had two toys and you go, bah, and you smash them together. That's kind of the idea behind a lot of it. I shoot super heavy duty war bows, so I've trained my life to get up to like a 160-pound bow. So there's not a lot of people that do that. There's a few guys out in England, but not a lot. So I do a lot of archery type content against plate armor and different type of things like that, because there's few people that have that capacity for that draw weight.
Just for reference, like 160, what's your max pullback?
The most I've gotten so far has been like 120-ish pounds probably.
Brandon, when you pulled,
God,
mine
crazy.
was 55. Yes, it's a compound bow, but it was 55 when you pulled it back.
Yeah, that's absurd. 120? Fuck.
160.
160 is insane.
So that was like always been like my goal to try to get to that. So I've had some cool stuff where APA sent me like a 100-pound compound bow, which is like the latest and greatest. And so I did that. And so just like, because a lot of people give me, I've never used the clamp, so I was using my fingers on it. And a lot of people give me grief about that, but they said it was fine to do. So I was pulling that, and that was doing crazy work.
Eli's face right now.
Bro, you weren't using a fucking release? You were just with your fingers doing 100-pound?
Yeah, period accurate, homie.
How do you...
Just 3 fingers. So that was a cool one because I tested against like hardened steel plate, and the war bows fail against that. But when you get that compound, like the modern bow, and I had a bishop arrow. So bishops are like, they're the arrows used for hunting elephants and big game. It's like a 1700 grain double.
The fuck did you just say?
You couldn't pay me enough to hunt an elephant
No,
with
I'm
a
serious.
pointy stick.
No,
First off, you're still 100 pounds on a compound bow.
Yeah.
Your poor wife.
Jesus.
180-pound rated fingers right there.
I'm like, Jesus.
It's hard to articulate the satisfaction I have right now for having my reference material here in the flesh. Bash doesn't know how many times in here and in real life I've referenced him, so it's nice to have my source material present. So
I can tell you, if you ever get into the AK space, I'm kind of fucked.
Have you ever had like any, I guess like X-rays comparing arms to see if after doing this for so long you have more bone density in a particular arm over the other?
I actually haven't done that, but this is anecdotal, but I got a while ago I got a massage, and the guy was talking to me, and he's like,
hold on.
yeah, I mean,
Pause.
just saying.
He has strong hands.
Yes.
So what do you do for
My wife made the massage. It was a couples massage. She was in the room, which I don't know if makes it worse. I'm digging a deeper hole. Dear
She's
God.
sitting in the corner.
I am
We really don't need to know about that.
She was in the room's way worse.
I'm in it now. I'm going to finish the story. I can't abort. We're just going to go ahead.
So your wife is watching.
Yes.
Okay.
But they'd said that it felt like there was like 2 different backs when he was doing it. Like the way the muscle ligaments attached on one side versus the other one felt extremely different. Like there was different, like it felt almost like a completely different anatomy for the left side to the right side.
And then he charged you for 2 massages.
Yes. So I do think that there's a little bit of that, and historically you could find, because they start at such a young age, there was actually they would deform the skeleton because it would mess with the growth patterns because they would start pulling it so young. So they can identify archers by their skeletons because there is a curve, and they have an example of one at a museum over in England of an archer skeleton, and they had it was like the excess bone mass on a specific side, so there's a little bit of a hunch as well, just from the strain of doing the actual weight of that bow.
Kind of makes sense. It's like MMA with like conditioning.
Yeah.
You know,
no
dude.
shin
Yeah.
bones, anything like that from like Thai fighters.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah, exactly. Same concept as that. Yeah. So I've never done the X-ray. I've had a few people ask to do it, but I haven't done that yet. So
Do it.
okay. All right.
We'll sponsor that too.
Okay. All right.
Sponsored a lot, yeah. So it comes a lot. Or whatever your name is.
We're making sure that the strength of our fighter is where we need you to be.
Yes, yes.
We need the MRIs, the X-rays. You know, don't want to bet on a lame horse.
Oh my gosh, I'm just commodity now. Just getting pushed around. Well,
I didn't have unsub gets into Mandingo fighting.
I know, exactly. This took a different turn.
Here we are.
So,
and then In addition to that, I do a lot of stuff with the sling, the shepherd sling. So that's the thing that like David used, right?
Yep.
That's old school rope, like just rope over the head, swing around. And so I do a lot of stuff with that, testing it against different types of armors, soft armors as well. So I do some of the bone, like most of my stuff, I don't have the budget for like ballistic dummy, but I get like cow ribs and femurs and things like that to test it behind like the soft armor, how a sling does against that. So like if a rock would crack rib behind.
Well, you were saying, how big were the arrows? How many grain were they?
So the arrows are like 1,500, 1,600 grains.
And then how was for the 160 pounds? How big are those?
No,
arrows?
that's about 1,700 grains for that. 1,700 grains. But the arrows I got from Bishop Archery were 1,700 modern arrows, and they have like 0 flex, and those are like $200 a pop. The guy was nice enough to send me like 6 of them to try, but they're really expensive.
Yeah, 1,700 grains for reference is like just under 350 cals.
God, dang. That is a massive error. And then that one, how hard is that 160 pound?
I mean, that's the
draw?
limit right now. I have 180 and 175 I've been working towards. My goal was always to get to 200 because that's like the world record, technically. There's people that do more, but they just haven't. You know how the world record works where it's like people like, I want to pay for this. And so they get the record. But there's dudes out there that can pull like 210, 220. But I've always just wanted to get to like that 200 pounds. So I've worked on that for a long time. But once I got to 160, 165, I've just been stuck. Like your body, it's so taxing that your body just wants to break in on itself. Like especially the left shoulder, trying to hold it out at that point, it's almost like compressing you in.
And mass moves mass, and you're like $190 maybe, $180.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to be like 250. How big were the guys pulling those?
Well, they were smaller. Obviously, that was just, they weren't like, they were strong, right? That's the thing. It's like, think of anyone with a specific muscle grouping for a specific thing, like arm wrestlers or things like that, where they get like, they have very specific muscles for very specific movements. It doesn't mean that you're strong overall. It means you're strong in a specific movement that you do. And so with those archers, it was really just being able to be strong in that movement. They were extremely strong, but it wouldn't translate to like raw strength. Like I don't think they would out bench press people, right? It's just that one particular movement.
That is why. And how hard is it hitting a lot of those objects, armor, or what's it punching?
I mean, it's
through at
very
that point?
hard. The only problem is that wood does not transfer energy well, because when the wood arrow hits, it tends to diffuse it if it's not going through it, and it loses momentum fast. So if I go against like, let's say different armor types, so like mild steel is what's used a lot of times nowadays with like different types of replication. So mild steel is like low carbon content, and so it's not going to do a great job stopping it. But if you have like a hardened steel, even if it's like C60 hardened steel, and you have like 0.5 or 1 millimeter, 1.5 millimeters, at 1.5 it's not getting through, but at 1 millimeter I can punch into it a little bit, but it's not going to go through mail and padded gamison. It's just going to punch into it. It's not going to hit the whole thing.
Oh, this is wild to me. Is this what got you into your autism? Was like, I'll reach out to this guy.
Bernard Cornwell, his work on the Archer series
Yeah.
got me into it. Then I found Dash, and I was like, this dude's pulling 160. What the? Like it was insane, because once you start, you're like, okay, I guess I'll get a heavy bow. Then you realize where you're actually at. Like, I've been technically lifting weights since I'm 13. I was like, I could hop in on this, no problem. Humbled extremely fast.
Even compound was like 60 pounds. I mean, like Brandon, you got humbled by like it is like
It's harder than you think. Like it doesn't sound like a lot of weight, but when it's an awkward movement that you're not used to doing,
Right.
Which I was actually going to ask as a follow up to that. What kind of exercises in the gym do you do specifically for archery that would help with that muscle group?
So the best thing realistically is you got to understand too, the style is very different than Olympic style archery. Olympic style archery is usually like you see them and they come in like this and they activate the back, but it's not really doing much. The best thing is like a wide grip pull up, because what you're actually doing is you're coming in and you're dropping down. And so it's basically pushing, pulling, and dropping. And so that drop motion right there, that's the hardest part, because that's when you get from like 24 inches, 26 to like 32. So that's when most of the weight stacks. And so wide grip pull-ups is something that's really going to get you to be able to drop in that extra little movement right there. So that and weighted wide grip pull-ups. But I also have like a little bow
Weighted
trainer.
wide grip pull ups.
Yeah.
I'm not in that good shape.